Welcome to the Red Couch Talk. Mithun Mridha. Almost. Practicing, practicing. How are you today?
I'm good. Fine. Thank you. It's a long weekend here. Yesterday was a public holiday,
Mm.
and in France they say it's prendre le pont, faire le pont. That's an expression they use here. So when you take the Friday off to get extended holiday, so
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and there are three of them in May.
Yeah. We
So
say the
and
same thing in German, by the way.
mm,
But in Swiss German, it's more like the French, and in High German, it's a little different. So, but it also has to do with the bridge, which I guess is the perfect entry for our conversation because you and I, we're bridge builders in the figurative sense. And you know what I find very interesting about your bio? First of all, you come from a very different angle into interculturality. You're an enterprise agile coach, organizational transformation consultant, and you have been to over 60 countries, and your career spans 5 countries already. And you speak 7 languages. And what I found really fascinating was the connection that you're trying to build between strategy, systems, and people. It almost sounds like you're the Newton of interculturalism, Mithun. Why are you doing what you're doing?
um, I think I really I love your expression, not because it's just innovative way of saying Newton of this area, but I'm actually a very, very big fan of Isaac Newton. So you got me hooked into this discussion and why I do what I do. I think our world is turbulent now, and if we analyze, if you see, or if you past centuries, or even if we analyze the last 2000 years of our history, it has always been turbulent. It has always there always has been injustice, there always has been wars, and there has been a lot of nice things, but more not so nice things that happen in the world. And I think that's exactly what we are in today. Just a different it's a it's a in a it's happening in a different way. It's more technologically advanced, but what we people are doing to each other is the same. There's a big divide. There's a lack of empathy. There's a lot of dehumanization. There's a lot of stress. So although we have great organizations, especially when you see you're in the mobility, global mobility, when people are asked to take roles, or they are shown like such great values of the company, and actually when you go and start living the day there, you see that those values are uh, probably never lived even for a second. So there is a big divide. I think there's a big divide, many things, many voids, and actually many people who need help. I think for me it's more like yeah, there's so many people who need help, and I think I am well placed because I never had anything easy in my own life. So what I try is that when I see new people and they're struggling, and I know exactly what they're going through, so I just help them to make their way easy, to get them achieve what they're trying to achieve. And we can do it in very different ways. And I'm saying that not in a purely altruistic way, but I'm just saying we can just help enough people to achieve what they want to achieve. I think you can achieve anything by that. I think it was said in a bit different form by Zig Ziglar, but I really believe that this is so true. So when we are in such a complex world, in complex organizations, and so many people trying hard, working hard, but they're not trying to achieve because they did not manage to create the environment in which they could thrive, or they were not having empathy with the other people who were not exactly having the same way of thinking or same values or same way approaches to go about. I think there is a lot to do, and that's something that gives me more courage and inspiration to just continue. And the there is just no end. So you can do you can help so many organizations, and I think each organization that I've been working in for the past 2 decades, I'm seeing that uh, so many topics create so much friction,
Mm,
and they're just little things actually. In the if you really take time to onboard people together in the right way, really align, I think a lot of nice things could be done in spite of all the challenges that we are going through. I
mhm,
think there is still good things to do. I strongly believe in it.
mhm. Now, there's so much to unpack, and you mentioned already you never had it easy when you started out, or when when you were maybe a bit younger. So, how did you get to this place where you are today? And feel free to talk a bit more about your work if you can, if it's not confidential.
Yes, I'm into consulting and more into organizational change management,
Mhm,
or like large transformations. So I'm help clients in dealing, managing large, complex international programs which involve transformation. So how do you structure it? What kind of governance do you set in? Who will be doing what? What kind of communication do you have to put in place? What kind of reporting structures? What kind of strategy? How do you manage the allies who are for this change, who are against, who are hesitant, who are torn between the old way and the new way? So all of this stakeholder management needs to be done. And so I work in these kind of environments. Like, for example, currently I'm helping a French client that has sold 3 entities in the UK. So I was initially in the team for closing the deal, which involved a lot of time with the lawyers from UK and from France regarding the contract, regarding the settlement. So once we managed to settle and close the deal, then I was asked to work more as a project director
mhm,
for the transition period. Call it
mhm,
carve out or transitions. And so a transition services agreement has been signed, and this is for providing the services during the transition period until this new company, that the buyer is able to set all the processes and everything in place, the structure in place for this newly acquired entities to work. So it's multicultural. We are involving people from so many countries and locations. Uh, we are talking also about organizational dynamics. The company that has bought, they are a competitor. At the same time, they could be also partners.
okay.
So
Wow.
they because on new projects, this both the companies could partner together and work together. So it's not just a competitor, it's a competition, but who's also a potential partner. And so it's interesting to take this kind of way, like, okay, uh, you have to keep your own interest for this organization, but at the same time there is some shared mutual interest, and how to manage it. And I can tell you, it could be very stressful from time to time, because that is merger and acquisition, this kind of restructuring. So yeah, I ended into this because I was always interested in these topics
Hmm.
from my college days. So, but when I tried to tell people when I was younger that I would like to do into change management, organizational change management. So at that time, my colleagues and all the also clients and former managers, they were saying, Mithun, you are too young. That was the that was always the reason given, like you are too young, you can't do it. And I said, like, okay, let me do what something else that you can trust me to do. And so I kept doing my work, but finally, almost all of the major programs and projects and portfolios that I've managed, they were all into transformation. The only thing that was common in them was the transformation. Either it was a divestment or a merger and acquisition. For example, uh, um, a pharmaceutical company which was French and it was bought by an American company 20 years back. Everything centralized in the US. And then they sold it to a Japanese company. So the French entity and all the affiliate companies. And then there was a colleague of mine who was asked to manage this as a program manager, and just things didn't go well for her between the Japanese management and the French management and the selling company, which was the American firm. So they asked me, okay, SOS Mithun, can you help us? And so I just took up that, and things were not easy. But then I think the somehow like fact that you talked about bridging. So the bridging really helped. There were many stressful moments and negotiations, but then now it's almost 4 or 5 years that I'm no longer on that topic. But my former Japanese colleagues, they still message me. They say, yes, whenever we get chance to come to the Paris office, we should definitely have lunch together. So for me, that is really important. That okay, we did something. Um, it's not important that you deliver. It's also important how you deliver. And for me, that makes a lot of importance. And I think I took a very unusual journey to come into that. But I think now when I see it, it's just that I attracted more of these transformation topics, and over time I became specialized in it. But I think I can say a bit. I can quote Steve Jobs, who said in one of the university commencement addresses a few years back, he was saying, "You cannot connect the dots when you look forward. You can connect them only when you look backwards." So now I can connect them, but when I began, I think it was difficult to imagine which way it would go.
So if you connect the dots now, what do you think is your secret sauce? Why are you so successful in what you do?
I think it's I think if there is one word that would be really perseverance. I think that is something really important. Um, I think sticking to your approach
Uh-huh.
and taking the time for it.
Uh-huh.
When the time demands it, when it requires something. One of my speaker friends based in Singapore, he had a speech where it was all about relationships. Um, and he was saying like, yeah, you should bend more and pull less. It's just like, you should be the first trying to adapt, not forcing others to adapt to what you have in your mind. And I think I deeply believe in this. And I think we don't do much of it because there is something which I try to keep off the table at everything I do is ego. I think a lot of the people around the table, they they are either into ego or into some kind of rationality or some kind of ideology. Once you put it traps you. It's a disaster because once you are into that ideology, it's just it just is like a religion. There are good things in a religion, and there are things that you have to update it. You can't just take it by by the word, by apply everything by the book. That doesn't work. So I think it's like really being situational. So I would say if it's situational intelligence or situational responsiveness, which I think is important. So you you analyze the situation, you see deeply what's beneath the surface. And that is also like don't react just by observing what's going on. Maybe just let the ripples fade, let them sink, see what's really going beneath the surface of the discussions and where teams are going. Lots of politics is going on, or maybe some kind of fear is not being addressed. So I think you have to go deeper to which kind of desires or deeper desires and the needs of the people which are not being addressed in certain situation. If you can go below the superficial things and stick for a longer time, take all the time it needs to get the problem solved, then I think people know that you're on their side, and you develop that trust that helps to go beyond um, these difficult situations.
I think you also have a strong, very strong presence. And I wonder, and I'm really curious, but you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. Really curious how you got that. Because, not many people have that. And I think it is really important when you work in such a context, when you work with people, when you work in organizational change, when you work with especially these transformations that are usually quite rough on people. I think, if you have that kind of a presence, people also trust you, they open their heart to you. But maybe you have a tip for a younger professional, maybe somebody who's now thinking, I want to be like Mithun. What can I do to become like him? Who do I need to consult? Maybe you have a tip.
I think for presence, I think it's I would say it's more being mindfulness, and the way what I do for me, the first thing that heals me and keeps me mindful is nature. You have nothing to do, just go out along the river or watching flowers, leaves, taking pictures. I love photography, so I love taking pictures. And just like sometimes it's good to go without your telephone and without any things that can distract you. And sometimes it's just good to have those moments in your agenda that you are not rushing on something. There will be always things to complete, and still that time that you need for your soul. I think that's very important. So for me, that is how I keep my presence, because I stay mindful. And then sometimes there are some games which help you. Like I'm I love chess, and I play I play blitz games. Those are like 3-minute games. You have to be really be fast, and that's also something I like. you cannot do anything else when you play blitz games. You have to
Okay.
really be present. If a thought comes and like, you just get distracted for a few seconds, that's the end of it. And so yeah, for me, that's also an activity which I like. The other ideas I can give to be more present would be curious about everyone else.
Uh-huh.
And you can always say it in a different, if you think that, oh, this meeting is very boring, but how to be present in this boring meeting, I would say, why not find a way to make it even boring? No, I mean, the the objective of all these participants is to make it boring. Let's think about it. Let's see how good they are in making it boring, and how can you contribute in making it even more boring? Or or if there is if there is a plane, you're just traveling on a plane and you're having people and like people around you. A lot of times, like, you might just watch a movie, but I'm just saying, like, okay, that everyone can do. Why not strike a conversation? And if you can have a conversation, even if it doesn't go anywhere, but still, you might learn about something. So I think it's just being curious and not judgmental, and at all times, because you might observe things which you might not observe if you are only thinking about how you are responding or how you are going to keep your own interest in it. I think sometimes you have to be more, um, we have to leave our own ego and our image out of the situation and really be in that moment to understand with all our senses. If you can do that, and I'm just saying, I'm still learning. I'm learning,
If you can do
but
that, you're
I'm
good
doing
out.
it. Yeah.
Awesome. Uh, do you, I assume, you don't have to do business development right now in your current job, but do you have like a preferred way of networking, getting to know people? What do you do to build your network and influence in the world?
I think my preferred way of doing it is meeting people outside the organization.
Hmm.
So uh, it's to meet people who are doing things which are absolutely different from what you are doing.
Hmm.
And so I have friends who are sculptors, and like when I say that, look, we delivered this program, my sculptor friends send me pictures. Look, in the last 3 months, I made this sculpture. It's a very different discussion,
Yeah.
and then it's also extremely good because when they ask me what you are doing and what you delivered in the project, I have to be really crystal clear. I have to explain them as if I'm explaining to someone who is just 5 year old because they don't know anything about my business. And I think that pushes me to be extremely clear, extremely simple in communicating. So I like that. So my way is like sometimes go to events, and they could be events which are like have is, for example, like I was always they could change your way. Like there was a event many years back on it was a environmental rally.
Hmm.
And although I have done many others before, I just felt like my friend said, like, look, we are going to participate. Would you like to participate with us in Normandy, in the city of Caen? And although I could have done many other things, I said, like, yes, you are going. I'm joining you. Actually, I just was amazed by the amount of people who had given up so much for the cause of the sustainability and climate change. And it was some fascinating conversations I had there, and I I managed to connect with a few of those people. So I think any kind of interesting social event is a good opportunity to meet people. And a lot of times people are very short-term oriented. It means like, okay, I know people who are like, okay, who would connect with people on LinkedIn, but they will never have an exchange with them, or they would never have a conversation, never exchange any words. But then I think like, then what's the point of connecting to those people?
Yeah, I
So
wonder
the
about that too. Why
so
contact me if you don't want to talk to me?
yeah, so
Uh,
so get in touch with people who are doing completely different things, and especially I think it can be a virtual event, it can be a face-to-face event, and you don't have to meet 20 people. If you meet just two people, that's great. Like
yeah.
I went to an event this week where one of my favorite authors came to Paris, and so and there was a workshop and everything. So I met quite a few new people. Well, one of them was very interesting. He's Australian, and we had a wonderful discussion, and just came to know that we had so many people in common, and that we have a lot of this. We had some discussion on cricket and on on South Indian cuisine, and so it's like very soon we are going to go for a South Indian restaurant to have a vegetarian dinner together with another colleague of mine who loves this kind of cuisine. So I think, like, connect and find ways to connect again. I think that is also important, the connection, that it
Mm.
stays over time. And if you keep discussing, if you keep doing things with those people, I think it's important. For example, I like uh, working with some of my friends, developing some topics, or like something very unusual. Like, okay, I have colleagues with whom we have pitched in a conference which is like really far away,
Mhm.
but the whole idea was that, okay, let's go, just let's do something out of box, and it would be great to present in that conference. We know nothing about that country. I mean, we do know, but not much. We don't know exactly the stakeholders of projects there. So I think, like we said, like, okay, let's pitch and see if we get selected, and then it just might open some new connections. The whole idea is being open to finding new people in the network, and then taking some time to keep it over time, because all of that is investment in terms of time. So but then I think it's just like any relationship. Time is what is needed. If you don't give that time, I think the network becomes fail. And I'm just saying, like, okay, even I have the same problem sometimes, since I work on these kind of high stake projects. It's not easy for me to from time to time. I have like, there could be sometimes a phase of like 3 to 4 months that I'm not able to meet anyone,
Mhm.
and that's not okay. That is part of the constraints, business constraints, that you have to deal with it. But then it's okay. Once the storm passes, then you can again take time to catch up with people. But the whole idea is that make meaningful connections, not just random connections, and then also connections with people who are absolutely different, completely different. Because um, a lot of people think that, I'm doing this connection because I want to do some work with them, or I want to do something with them. If you go with that intention, that relationship will not happen,
Mhm.
because it's not spontaneous. It's very needs oriented, and it would be seen as a danger because the person wants something from me.
Yeah.
And actually, and there are lots of people who are just always taking from other people. If you keep taking, at some point of time, it will backfire. So
Absolutely.
it's more, okay, you can't be also all the time giving, but that's also going to backfire. I think you need some kind of balance. So
Mm,
if you first develop a um, a friendship already, and then over time you see that okay, there is something to exchange or some kind of help which is needed. I think that could be a proper time to ask for that help. But
mm,
if you already start connecting with I have these people like who were like some once my classmates for more over 20 years, they did not keep in touch with me. And after that, they come to me with a blunt message. I don't know where they got my phone number, but with an SMS saying that, hey, I am in this deep trouble and I need your help. And I think it's, for me, it's very bizarre because you did not, first point is for 20 years you disappeared. So I should not be the person to help you. Because if the people who, if you need any kind of help, then people who are there, who are supposed to help you, should already know that you are in this situation. And a lot of times you don't even need to ask people for that for help. For example, when a lot of times I need help, I mean, people are in my close circle, they just know it. I don't even have to say, they come to me
mhm.
saying that, "Mithun, you must be having trouble with this. Let me come and help you." And I like, I appreciate that. And I think that's when you are well connected with your little circle that works. I
Mhm.
think this is what is will happen. So you don't have to go and ask in the first place.
Oh, I love it. That's so great. That's really so true and so often misunderstood, especially about professional relationships as well. Mithun, do you have anything exciting coming up? Are you going to any conferences? You just said you applied for one. Are you going to come to Lucerne?
Yes, I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming to
Awesome.
Lucerne. Yes.
So
Mhm.
we see you there.
Yes, and I'm speaking in the before Lucerne in the end of May. I'm speaking. Let me tell you the exact dates. I think it's 30, 31st. Um, th- sorry, 30th. Yeah, 30 and 31st of May in Wrocław,
Hmm.
Poland, and it's called a Diversity and Innovation Conference.
Okay, that sounds great.
And I'll be speaking about using culture as a catalyst to manage stakeholders.
Wow. Based on your 25 years of experience?
And another conference coming up, it's in November. I
Uh-huh.
can give you the dates also. It's 13th, 14th, and 15th of November. And it's a conference all co-organized by the University of Paul Valéry in Montpellier and Cietar, France. And it's on intercultural negotiations.
Okay.
And my topic is managing conflict between Indian and French teams in projects, in outsourced projects.
Oh, that's probably a big audience you're going to attract there.
Yeah.
Please send them to me, then I will also put them into the show notes. And if anyone wants to connect with you, is it okay if they contact you on LinkedIn? Refer to the Red Couch Talks?
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Well, Mutun, it was so great to meet you here today, and I look forward to meeting you again in person in a few weeks already.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
very much looking forward to Lucerne.
Okay. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.